Here we go. A little bit troublesome these things today. Many screens, many things to monitor. So here we are, October 1st. It's been a while, and it's a town hall. As I said, we're going to cover the game today. What I want to say, because we are now going into the final edition, and we know we have lawyers and partners watching this presentation. So we're going to be very outright clear that the pictures are for illustration purpose only. We have rights to what we use, but there could be still in our material stuff that is for illustration purpose only. And once we go live, there will be some adjustments to that. Numbers, to point out that I've been instructed by our lawyers. Numbers are for estimates. These are our estimates. And of course, you have to make your own estimates based on whatever we present to you. And so that's the little disclaimer before we get started. The agenda today will be purely about the game. In the Q&A session, we will be able to answer any question, but primarily we want to focus on the game because that's what's really coming close to all of us now. So when we enter the game, the purpose is the same, is to empower billions of sports and entertainment fans all over the world to connect and share their passion. And that's the white space we are filling with our product. And from here forward, there will be purely new graphics for you. You're all aware of the big market we are aiming at. And we've been talking about that many times, and the market is just growing. And of course, football is one of the primary markets we are looking towards, but we should not forget about the opportunities within basket, American football, MMA, other sports, cricket in India, even rugby, Australia, New Zealand, many other places, and the entertainment part, which is also loads of opportunities coming. So, but we're going to focus on football. The reason for this is the biggest sport available, and it's really a fanatical driven sport, and we have some great partnerships to announce to you today. We have recently signed the final agreement with a global partner. It's one of the biggest media companies in the world. And we signed an agreement. We are not disclosing the name because of confidential clauses in the agreement and marketing campaign we are doing on a global scale together with this partner towards the end of November in relation with World Cup in Qatar. This partner have more than 600 million monthly fans. And we are going to launch in the top 10 markets in the world together. That's the UK, US, Germany, Italy, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Japan, Spain, and the Arabic countries. So altogether, we are launching north of 500 million fans or something in that direction. But we can reach through their networks, and their reach is more than 600 million. I'm not going to be completely accurate on the number. So they have more than 1 billion videos views every month. That's amazing. That's a huge amount of video. And video is, of course, very important for us to go to the market. They have more than 80% of their fans are mobile gamers. They use their smartphone for daily gaming activity, meaning that we will reach 500 million mobile gamers through this agreement. So we have been working months with this agreement, and the team has been very great. We have, as you know, a lot of expertise in the team. And we spent months doing this. We signed a letter of intent earlier this summer, and now we have been through the legal due diligence. We have concluded the final agreement, and we are going live in the market November 15. Whether we open the game immediately on 15 or 1 or 2 weeks later, but we go live with a pre-registration, and probably the game come a week or 2 later. So, but we will start game launch then. We will start to build up a huge momentum, and I will tell you today. You will see the whole rollout, how we're going to do that, what kind of game, and what you can expect from us. So this is a milestone of really huge dimensions, and it's what you can call a really, it's a huge milestone and a very important part for us in order to achieve fast success in the market. And so that's it. You don't need to ask who the partner is, because we will never disclose that. We have signed tons of papers not to disclose marketing campaigns, etc. But it will be public in November. It will definitely be public, and you will be amazed who this partner is. So, first of all, let's go straight into the game and the game mechanics and how the game is working. You are all familiar with the yes and no swiping function to right and left. That's the basic thing. Then we have also presented to you before the pass, where you swipe up to pass a question, or you swipe down to freeze a question. Now we also have added another one. It's a double tap, meaning that when you double tap the picture, you can exchange the question to another question. That's another premium feature. All of these features are, of course, pegged into your NFTs, like we have presented before. But we are not going to cover too much of the NFTs today. We're going to talk only about the game. So these are the basic tactics of the whole platform, and it will also be reflected in the new application that we are doing these days with the new UI, UX, the whole thing going to be swiping. There's a lot of amazing stuff coming. So more on that later. So the questions we have, they are easy, medium, and hard. For me, they are all Greek when it comes to football. But for many people, we've done market tests. We've been fielding this with football people. We have a good range of experts now into the football domain, 10, 12 people, football journalists. We have a great team here in Norway, but we also have a great team led by Magnus in Indonesia, in Jakarta. We have 7 or 8 people in the office there. Some of them are professional football writers and very knowledgeable. So we are also creating actually a large database of questions for the Indonesian market, which is one of the hugest market in the world in terms of number of players. Anyway, so I can tell you that the number one market, we are actually the number one football market within the ecosystem we are entering is actually Japan, and then follows suit by US, UK, Germany, and the other countries, Spain. So that's the easy, medium, and hard. We have some fresh new content coming. We have a great content mill, a great team producing content every day. We are kind of battling with very large amounts of questions. We are now way beyond 50,000, maybe 60,000 questions. It's coming every day, and we are monitoring performance. So when we get to launch, we will have an amazing database also with fresh imagery, with good questions. So we're going to speak a little bit more about the questions in a little while. So we developed a new concept we called SC, Super Club. One of the reasons for this, there was a recent court case from Football Manager versus, or actually Manchester United versus Football Manager, about naming, using club names, crests, and things like that. So given the fact that we are now partnering up with a global actor within the space, we are also getting very good advice on how to adapt to not infringe any intellectual property. And therefore we have created SC as a super club, which is ties into our whole the concept we have shown you with the towers and things like that later. We will explain that a little bit later. But how we monetize or the game modes we sort of have available is the free game, it's advertising run game, and it's the paid game. So when you look at the free game, we're gonna start now with a battle royale free game. I'm gonna speak about that. And we're going to start with that, and we're going to pay for the prices from the company side. This is just to enroll a large amount of players, and in order to build up the volume, build up the momentum for both advertising and for paying games. So that's how we're starting, but this is one of the ways we earn money. There's a freemium model, and there's also lots of advertising into it. Then we have the premium features in the app: pause, swap, freeze, and they have different. There is also lives. I will get back to that. There is pause, swap, and freeze. They are premium services from the outset. They will be tied into your NFTs like we have presented before. The new thing is the guy in the middle here, the swap. You double tap, and you can actually change the question to a similar question at the same level of difficulty. So that's a really cool feature. All this will be super fast. We have re-engineered our database structures. We are now using Neo4j, native distribution of Neo4j on very fast instances with Amazon. So we're going to have down to a few hundred milliseconds in response time, which is utterly fast. There's a lot of technical things coming in now. So what we're going to do with the Battle Royale, and as you know, we are creating this virtual world, gamified world, but it's not the first thing we're going to do. We're going to launch the Battle Royale now in Q4 with the free version. And the purpose of that is to create a large player base, and to create it very fast by giving away prizes. So what we will do, the prizes will be, I will show you in the next slide actually. And the next is Battle Royale, the paid version, which we will have rolled out as soon as possible actually, but it's not that much difference that you have to pay to enter. There are some kind of, for us in the App Store, there are some legal, I won't say issues, but there are some legal matters we need to attend to. And we need a little bit more legal opinions. But that's not a roadblock. It's just like it takes a little bit more time. So we're going to start with the free version and roll over to the paid version. In between here, we also see advertising coming online. So this is a fantastic rollout. The arrowhead or the poster child of this company now, when it comes to the game, going to be the Battle Royale. And basically what we're doing, we're going to operate the Battle Royale. That's what we specialize in. And yeah, I will get back to that. So how is this game working? And we've been through so many iterations. We've done a lot of testing. And on the left side, you see the basics. You have a time to answer a question. Of course, we will, our tests say that 10 seconds is too much and 5 seconds is probably a good but fast, maybe a little fast. So we have that dynamic a little bit for a while, but 5 seconds is what we calculate will be the answer time, maximum answer time. And the first, and this, what is new now is the way we run this game. The free game will run every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, 24/7. That means 12 games an hour, 288 games every day. It will start every 5 minutes. But that means when you are out of a game, you can always jump into a new one, in average within a few minutes, because it takes like 3 to 4 minutes to play the game. At least that's what the average time we have estimated so far. This might be subject to adjustments, but for so far, 1 every 5 minutes is what we contemplate. The first 10 questions will be easy. The reason for that is that people have a lot of tools. All the tools you see on the right side here, the freeze, the swap, the pause, the lives, they will be free during the initial version, okay? They are not going to be free that long. They're going to be free in order for people to exhibit a habit in using them. We're going to develop a habit so people will have the habit of using these tools. So once we put them into a premium context, where they have to pay to use them, they will still be using them. So the first 10 questions is to give people a little bit of ease, and it's not that easy questions either. We can even have questions that we regard as easy, that's difficult for many people, and hard, that's easy for people, depending on your knowledge. Anyway, the first 10 questions is easy. The next 10 will be medium of difficulty. So our estimates show that when you got somewhere between 20 to 25 questions, most of the people will kind of fall off. So we want to create an experience that is normalized around 3 to 4 minutes. So it's just a minute or two to jump into the next round. So we start with hard questions on number after the first 2 times 10. We start with hard questions, and then we run the hard questions in each game round, in each game, until there is only a winner, one player left. So if there are 2 failing at the same question, the winner will be conquered based on score. And score is based on milliseconds to correct the answer. So basically, we start off with 5,000 milliseconds, and then we roll off for every second. For every millisecond we roll off a point. So we can revert it. It's a complicated, not that complicated, but it's cool. So what happens is that everyone will start at the same time in the game now. You have to start at the same time. Everyone that's loading the game will start at the same time, and they play. And you will see live in the app how many people left in the app, how many people left in this game. So every individual game had a limited number of rounds, but for practical purpose, they will all be finished probably within 2 to 300 seconds, 2 to 250 seconds. The reason why that is that you have 5 seconds to answer, and then you have the freeze, which gives you double the time, which will freeze the timer for 5 seconds. So depending on when the users or players are using the freeze, maximum time for every question to see what happened is 10 seconds before you will see the result. Whether if you pass, you will see immediately, but you will see how many, and the new question is starting immediately. So it just continues until it's terminated. So basically, if some of you had experience with HQ trivia in US, they have a little bit different model, but a little bit of the same. So everybody is collectively answer until there is no winner. And I mean, when you're out of the game, if you fail on, let's say, 15 and there are more people continuing, you can just go into the next game. So there is always a game coming within a short period of time. These are really cool stuff. There are many ways of doing this. We have chosen this way after careful consideration. And what I always say, this is a very innovative project. So we might tune it a little bit, but this is what we have developed now, and this is what we are going to start with in the market. We're going to have these tools. We're going to have 3 freezes, 3 swaps, 3 passes, 3 lives. Okay, so maybe they will be tuned down to 2 if it's not feeling fair, but we want people to have a little bit of gaming experience. So that's the main screen for that. So let's talk about the Battle Royale free version. The free version, the whole purpose of that is to attract many millions of players all over the world. Given our marketing partnership, we are able to reach, like I said, more than 500 or more than 500 million mobile gamers. So we expect to have many millions of players coming in on the free version. So what we do with the free version, we from the company side will fork out about $10,000 a day, and we will give away $35 in total, $20 to the winner, $10 to the second place, and $5 to the third place every 5 minutes throughout the day. 288 times 35 is a little bit more than $10,000 every day, $300,000 for a month. This is our go-to-market expenses, together with, of course, all the stuff. So it's not that much. It's a lot of money, but not that much if you look on all the millions and millions of people that will play this game, because it's actually a free lunch. And a lot of people in countries, I think all over the world, $20 is a insane amount of money in many even here in Norway, $20 is a sizable piece of money. So I think this will be a really big booster for what we're doing, and it's going to catch fire in many countries. And we know that Axie Infinity got like 2 million users in the Philippines. Imagine what's going to happen with this in countries like Philippines, like Vietnam, like India, like Indonesia, even like Germany, UK, whatever. It's going to be a really cool thing, and we will pay the prices. They will be paid to your account, and it's withdrawable. There's no number jumbo to it. The money is there. It's sitting, and it will be paid directly to your account or to your when you withdraw. So it's a really cool feature for us doing this. And yeah, we're going to attract millions and probably tens of millions of players. My personal goal is 30 million, and I think that's also obtainable with the free version of Battle Royale. So we're going to start off with World Cup. We don't have a slide for it, but we have a lot of World Cup questions, a lot of imagery, a lot of stuff for World Cup. We're going to open for Manchester, Barcelona, Liverpool, Madrid. We also have the other top clubs in Europe and the top clubs in Indonesia ready to go. We're probably going to also open in conjunction with this Indonesia, but we believe that that's probably going to be limited to the Indonesian market. So this is a really cool concept, and we are reaching. With these 4 clubs here, we are reaching, like we talked about before, 2 billion football fans in the world. In addition, we have World Cup, and we will open more and more. We just want to make sure that everything is, as I say, working out well as we move on. So that's amazing. And what you see here now is also more or less the final design of what we are doing. There will be some adjustments, of course, but we have a very flexible design on what we're doing, because like FIFA, they also use a lot of different colors to resemble the different clubs, etc. So we created a whole design scheme that's moving a little bit away from what you've seen before, and there's a lot of swiping. This design is all made by cards, but also you're using the Apple phone and you have the wallet. You will see how you can move around boarding cards and TFL tickets and things like that. You will see the same kind of tactics and navigation here. So then we get to the Battle Royale, the paid version, and this is where the real bucks comes in. Even the other one is also a great value for people. If you can go in for free and you can play and you can win money, it's cool. This is where we change the model, where you have $1 to enter a game. And the price is 20% to the number 1, 10% to number 2, 5% to number 3. So there is a percentage sharing or prices. And this is all cumulative on the platform, so you can play Liverpool and another one can play Manchester United. The questions are aligned in difficulty, so you can fight against each other. That will bring tremendous global liquidity to this game, and it will create huge prize pools every time. So if we take an example here and say there are 10,000 players in every game, and they put in $1, the winner will get $2,000, which is a sizable chunk of money all over the world, and the second gets even also a big chunk, $1,000 and $500. So once we open this, we're really going to see a lot of. So the ratio here will be invest $1 and maybe get $500,000 or $2,000 in the prize, which is a very good ratio. So we believe this is going to be massive success also. Obviously, we don't think that everyone is going to start paying. We want to get from free, and people ask us, how do you bring people from the free to the paid? And that goes in the prices. So in the free, you have a cap on $20. You can win. Here it's with this example, it's 100 times higher, and it probably can become also much higher. We will also run special editions of the paid version. In example, Manchester United only, and maybe only a weekly game where you buy in with even $10, and you're able to really fight X number of times. So a lot of things coming when it comes to this. There's no lack of creativity, but what we concentrate on getting the free version out in the market, getting the paid version going with $1, and then we will extrapolate and we develop from there. So that's what we're doing with that. And we should not forget about the social aspect of this app, which is also tremendous. We are developing a separate channel in the app for the social activity and for notifications and for hanging out with friends and chatting and all this kind of thing. And so we are kind of using the fame, fortune, and friendship we've always been talking about, how you can expose yourself, how you can find other people, and all these things. This will also be prolonged when we open the super clubs, where you can enter the towers and you can fight inside. What we are doing there is it's also amazing stuff. It's not public yet. So we also, at the end of the day, we are actually here to excite the individual player and to bring them forward. So we are working a lot on the statistics, how we can develop statistics for them, how we can shoot them with statistics in the sense that they're getting incentivized to move on, how they are shared and how they can share each other, and how we can move forward. Because at the end of the day, we are here to please and to delight the players. Once we obtain that kind of level where we are able to delight the players, we will be winning their hearts, and we will be winning their feelings. And combined with a strong fan effect and fanatical emphasis on this, we believe it's a very, very strong powerful psychological way of moving forward. So I talked a little bit about the Super Club. Super Club is our version of a digital football club. They will come in the form of the towers we presented to you earlier in July. They are being developed. We have some amazing stuff coming there, but it's too heavy to launch. So once we signed this agreement, we had to shuffle around a little bit and see what is the best game to move right into the market with. What is the most exciting game mode we have? And we kind of concluded Battle Royale is definitely it. It will be a new game every 5 minutes. There is not a long journey. So what we are doing now, we are connecting the Battle Royale game to all the leaderboard, to the Super Club towers. They're all connected. So you have to play Battle Royale in order to advance the leaderboard. You have to play Battle Royale in order to achieve inside these club towers. Now we have developed these club towers over and over again, actually, because we were not really satisfied. And now we have come to a very cool and modern, but not too futuristic model. We're also working extensively on expanding the economy inside with a lot of new NFTs, a lot of micro NFTs, a lot of cool stuff coming. So, but first, we're going to have Battle Royale, which is our main, and it's going to be our poster child game going forward. And I think, personally, we don't need much more than that. It's going to attract tens of millions and millions of players. And we're going to look into that now, what effect that will have on the economy and how this will be. So, bear with us on that instead of having all this different thing. And we will open probably a small little thing in the app before we go live, but we have other ways of testing the game. We already developed the World Cup game already in beta version playing here in the office, but we're not going to release that because it's a little bit, some people, we want to see the game, etc., etc. We understand that, but showcasing that to thousands of people will kind of not work very well, both from a practical, technical point of view and from a business point of view. There are a lot of small secrets we haven't shown here, and now with this go-to-market partner or the marketing partnership we also have to keep abreast a little bit on what we do. Anyway, we had KPMG on the platform, like we said in July. They have come with their first report. We started working with them in India, and they already submitted the first report. We are expecting a new report coming shortly, so we will be able to share that with you. We can do that on Tuesday. And there is also a lot of other things happening when it comes to the token in the sector. So let's look on one example, what can happen in the Battle Royale game. I think 30 million players is obtainable. It's 1% of all football fans in the world. It's also 1% of Facebook. But it's 1% of all football fans. If we can get 30 million players and we have zero advertising revenue, we don't consider advertising revenue in this calculation. We just consider that 10% of them, or 3 million players, will spend $1 a day, which is a parity purchase, average parity purchase power across Western Europe, Asia, and Americas. So basically, you're looking at $3 million in gross revenue every day. That's a lot of money, but it is $1 billion in a year. It's $1 billion. There are many gaming. I will say many. There are many games that gross much more, up to 5, 6, even 7. So there are. This is not unreasonably high. When you look on the net revenue, we estimate that we will have 50% in net revenue. The reason for this is we're going to go into the app stores. So the app stores will shuffle off 25% in average. We expect 80% of our revenue to come through the app store. App store takes 30%. So 30% times 80% is approximately 24. We will have a little bit other small things coming from Visa, etc. with a couple of percent. So 25% goes to the payment processor, which the app store is, distribution and payments, payment processor. And then we have another 25% will be the average amount that goes to prices. And how we arrive at that is that we have about half of the games will be price games, the other half will be free games. And with 50% prices in the price games, the average 50% of 50% is 25. So very easy business model. Net revenue. Net revenue is the revenue that we use to distribute to partners or to stakeholders on the platform. So we will have more of this on Tuesday, but we have a whole new setup in terms of business model on the platform now. We have split the stakeholders into 5 equal partners. That's the staking and pools, it's the creators, it's partners, it's the platform, and it's the owners. We are leveraging, or not leveraging, but we are distributing 20% to each of these 5 partners. So it's an equal distribution, and we think it's very fair. The staking, as you know, we have 10% running to the super token. We have another 6.25% going to the current pool, and we have some other small things we cater in there also for future increase of the pool. The creators, which is the call it the network, the loot boxes, the whole structure. Remember, every player will be in this. So what we kind of see in can I call it reduction in revenue share? It will be compensated and much outweighed by a tremendous boost in volume. So the creators will have 20% of the net profit. It's along the line we have just talked about in the early process. Then the partners, we have new media partners. We have also reserved there for influencers and top people. We are into some discussions when it comes to this. So that's needed in order to reach out to all this. We have a very dynamic partner model. That's the same as the Star loot box we presented in July. Then we have the platform, which is we have called it Super Cloud. It's the operation of the platform. This is where we also pay image companies their cut. It's the hosting, it's the development, everything is under that umbrella, and it's the owners, which is the shareholders of ultimately SuperOne. And it's fair that those who have invested also a lot in this platform have their cut of the business. So when you see this, the net revenue, $1.5 million every day, will be split into 300,000 going to each of these 5 parties. So that's a very fair model, and it's a very, very profitable model for everyone. So this is how we will operate. I think it's a whole new way of doing this business model in general. We have been working with our financial consultants on this. They have experience from KPMG and JP Morgan, and they are thrilled by the way we do it, because it's by doing this, we are able to serve a real-time profit in a way that no other companies are able to do. They have to wait for their financial results and their balance sheets and everything to do. We don't need to do that. Every partner has to shoulder their own expenses, and that's good. So we don't need to mix too much with that. In example, the platform has to operate within the 20% thing. If there is a situation where the hosting, in example, which can be excessive in this case, then we have to consider it, or the owners have to inject more from their share to the platform. So basically, we have the staking you are aware of, the creators is there, the partners is there. Those are the 3 main partners that we don't touch. The reason for this is we need this to reach out to the market and to pay back to creators for creating the whole economy the way we do. So this is a very important calculation. You can, because even if you take away 1 0 or you add 1 0, it's just amazing what this can become. When you look at 3 million payers, like we calculated now, that's $500 million every year in payouts to 5 parties. And when you look at it, if you double the amount of playing players and say, oh, we are not going to have 3 million, we're going to have 6 million, which is also likely. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not that much. And then you're looking at $1 billion in payout and $2 billion in gross turnover. That's not even, Supercell in Helsinki, they have this the Clash of Clans, and they have like 4 or 5 games at the moment, 3 or 4 active. They had last year 2.7 billion in gross revenue or something like that, in euros, same as in Norway. And this they had close to $1 billion in sums. So this is very, very obtainable. So that's the presentation for today. When it comes to this, we have been showing you the top of the cake, the icing of the cake. There is, of course, much more. The whole app will be, we are only on the creative side, we have more than 100 pages in the app. The gaming side will have another 100. It's very complex. There is a big team working on it now, and I can reflect more on that when I see there is a lot of questions here. So I thank you so far, and I would like to say my favorite quote, that big things have small beginnings. Let's run into the Q&A and see how that goes and what comes out. We want you to, we're not opening the voice thing, but we are answering any questions you have. And I will turn on the camera so you can see me, and we will see how we can respond to these things. 1 second, I'm just going to move. Okay, there are some questions. There are also some corrections to typos, of course, that will be corrected. I mean, this will be developed to late hours. And some questions is the prices will be in dollars on your account. You can withdraw them in either XRP or USDC. We haven't made not all of you aware, we have included USDC in the platform now. You can deposit in USDC. We are shortly having withdrawals in USDC also. So someone is asking if you can pay with credit card. It will be credit card enabled, but first we need to have App Store. Before we can add credit card, we need to have App Store. Inside App Store, you can use credit card, or you can use it directly with the platform. But the provisions or the guidelines from Apple is very clear. You need to have Apple Pay before you can have the other means of payment. And we will have crypto. We will of course have crypto. We have crypto today. We will have that. Once we add Apple Pay, we will also be able to have payments in crypto inside the Apple app, which we don't have today. So that will come. There are some other questions that's more related to details of the game. Someone is saying it's released in Q1 2023. That's not correct. It's releasing this year. It's releasing towards the end of this year. And the temporary date, not temporary, the project date for us when we go live is 15th of November. So we go live 15th of November. There might be a week or 10 days with a pre-registration before we open the game. The game is ready. We are going live 15th of November. No doubt about that. So let me reflect a little bit on what's going to happen towards the end of this year. All of you have tokens, and basically we are also working on listing all those tokens. And what we have said in our communication, we already signed an agreement with our market making, and that's a public name. It's SuperOne Trading. It's one of the best market makers in the world. They are doing business with the top 10 venture capitalists in the world. They are significant in what they do. They will handle a trading pool on behalf of all the token holders, including the company, including any partner, creator, whatever investor. So we have a new tokenomics, and we will release that on Tuesday. And that will start, if we list in 2022, the vesting will start on the 1st of January. It will be divided into different classes that will have 2 months different vesting starts. So the first one will start in January, next one will start 1st of March, and then 1st of June, and there will be 6 months vesting for each party. So throughout 2023, we will be fully vested. So that's the tokenomics. The reason for this is we're going to have distributed tokens and, how should I say, regulate their release into the market, so we are not overflooding the market. We have a professional team that will handle this trading pool. So that's their day-to-day work, and that's what they're doing, and we will not handle that. So everyone will be forced and funneled through that channel in the very beginning for the first withdrawal from the platform. And there's a good reason for that. We cannot control the market, but we can control how we release it into the market. And so we'll be obliged to sell, but maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. So in sort of balancing a little bit. So, and also to keep the price. I mean, selling these tokens that early in the project would probably be not very advisable. We expect there will not be that many tokens in the market from the very beginning. You're looking at during the first quarter that we're probably going to have less than 100 million tokens in the market, or 150. So the market price of that token, the whole idea of it is to have an uptake on the market price. So that's what we're doing with SuperOne Trading. We cannot disclose too much about the listing. We are talking to top tier exchanges, and we are all concerned to do this in a very proper way. And I have to say, when people asking about the listing date, it's not set a date yet, but we're going to do it together with our opening and the public on the partnership, and all that will come together as one package. So realistically, we're looking at the listing somewhere in early December, middle of December, before Christmas. And that's subject to one thing in the world, and the market is of course always important, and we've been hit by that a couple of times before. I mean, in today's society, when I say the vesting will start latest 1st of January, there's one subject to that, one thing, and that, I mean, if hell and high water breaks out with Putin doing something stupid, and we all end up in peril, and we need to postpone it to whatever month or 2 or 3, we don't know, then of course we have to adjust the thing. But we want to get into the market, we want to get our figures into play as fast as possible, and we're going to capitalize on the great publicity and credibility also that we get from this partnership as we move into the market. So we are expanding our organization continuously. We are 50 people now, 30 people in India doing the technology thing, 10 people in Jakarta doing our Indonesia in total, doing content, and 10 people here in the headquarters in Norway. And we are expanding, and it takes a lot of time to find people and to train people and to move. But we've taken on board a lot of great people lately, and they're now starting to get warmed up and ready to rock. So a lot of those things is also part of our day-to-day work, is to recruit people, train people, and do that. And also support the existing platform. We're going to have some really cool things start happening now. One thing I can say is that the token price has been in the app now for 0.10 from not this Monday, but next Monday the 10th, that will be raised to 20 cents. And that will be also, we will have that in the presentation coming on Tuesday. So there is approximately a good week left to buy it at 0.10. The reason for this is we have added tremendous amount of value to the whole project, and with the agreements and with the market cap indications we have now, there is no point in selling something at 0.10. We're going to go back to beyond 0.20. We go to 0.20 first, 20 cents per token. And when we get into the market, people are asking me, okay, what's the listing price? Of course, we cannot say that, but we think that with approximately 100 million token in circulating supply, we are able to push that to a good number. And that's what we want to do. We want to procure liquidity of the token. That's the most important part, because we're also going to use that token inside the game, and that's rewards. And we want people to be able to trade their token. So if you get $1 in token, you're able to swing that dollar immediately. But there's a difference between getting $1 in reward when the token is, let's say for argument's sake, there is $1 on the market listing. The trading is about $1, and you get $1 in reward when you sell it in the market, contra buying a token at 0.10, like you guys are doing now, and sell it just for selling. So there's a difference between those things, and we have to balance that. So, and we will balance that. That's why we created the trading pool with SuperOne Trading. They are really experienced guys, and they've been, I mean, the whole trading industry has been through a very, very hardship period this year. And these guys have come out of the storm as a very reasonable, very, very clever people with deep knowledge and contacts. And there is one more thing I can mention. We started a new relationship this week, and that goes to the security of our application. and there is some new security things coming, and it's related to staking, and it's called a mesh network. So every single gaming app we have, every installed app, so each and every one of you that will have the game, you will be part of the security network that we are providing. It's a whole new revolutionary staking method that comes. We have a new partnership coming on this. One of the advisors of this concept is the guy who invented the DNS, that's for those domain name server, that actually invented domain names on the internet, how to navigate the internet. That's one of them. Another one is one of the top security guys from NATO within cybersecurity. So we are connected now to some really heavy hitters on security, and there's some really cool stuff coming there. So, but that's something I do. So don't worry. It's just something that's very important for the future. There's so much break-ins now, and by 2025 you're gonna see craziness. And the more computer power that comes, the more bad things happening in the world, like even the Ukrainian thing and the isolation of Russia, the more threats you see coming. So we need to be prepared, and we are working a lot on security. In particular, we will experience that people put SIM cards inside their or the app inside racks or servers. So we need to have protective measures against this to a level we probably never done before. And so we have that now, and that's really cool. And it's something that transacts, for those of you technical, in sub 50 milliseconds. That's a 20th of a second, and that's fast. That's super fast. So we are doing that. I would like to thank you all. If there is no more questions, I see a little bit questions about token listing and these things. Yeah, we have one that say that hackers can develop algorithm and boots that can scan the questions, and they are not able to with the security provisions we have. So there's no point of even saying that, because every single application will have a close connection directly to our servers, and with the new gaming mode, we don't have where you need the speed you need the speed, but not that speed. So basically, we are encrypting everything, and it's not hackable. It's not hackable, and we also have trapwires inside our tech design. So if a source is answering, in example, if one is answering at the same time the correct consecutive weights in the same amount of time in milliseconds, we will cut the player. And we also have, if you have very often a hacking boot, we'll need to have multiple attempts to break any code. So if you try more than once on our security algorithms, you will be thrown out. So there are many ways we are protecting this. We are also protecting it with unique blockchain solution, like I explained. So yeah, one is asking if we have 100,000 players in the pool, they put in $1 and the winner will get $20,000. That's perfectly correct. Good in mathematics, so that's how it's going. I don't think we will have those round numbers. But even if you look on a million players on the platform every day, a million player every day putting in $1, that's $1 million in turnover. And if you calculate that all the way down to a game every 5 minutes, you will end up with $3,500 in every game every 5 minutes, and 20% is $700 to the first prize every 5 minutes with 1 million paying players. With 3 million, of course, it's like I calculated, about $2,000, a little bit more. So that will second prize will then be 175 or something, 175. So that's not the first prize. Sorry, it will be 700. Sorry, 3,500, 20%. First prize 700, second prize 350, third prize half of that 175. So that's pretty good. That's with 1 million paying players, and that's not that difficult to achieve in my mind. So some of them were excited and talk about the great update. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We always like to be flattered by this. Yeah, there are some circuit, but we're gonna have 2FA for login. I mean, the way we do things now, you register into SuperOne. Once you can use the social logins. You don't need to have the 2FA yet. Only when you start doing money. When you buy your first package, when you start spending money, you are into 2FA. And the app stores also have different 2FA provisions. What I can say when it comes to token, we're gonna have full AML KYC. We're speaking to our great lawyers about how we do this, and there will be like you have to take your picture and all this kind of thing that you used to from exchanges. We will have that feature once we are closing in on the listing, and it will be there for security, for also for compliance with the regulations in the European Union. So we will have that. We will definitely have that. How can you ask a question like this? How long can we wait to see the game launch? Yeah, it's 6 weeks. 6 weeks. So okay, so I think that's the bulk of the questions. We are very positive. We are working very hard to get things really moving. Like I said, great additions to the team. We're going to make that more public. You will see more social media coming from us now because we have created a lot. We're going to start pushing. It's been a very intensive period because this new partnership has kind of made us swing around a little bit differently, and it's been also extreme excitement to it. And I think that that will also open many other doors in the ecosystem around. I mean, there are there are very big investment in how to say circles looking at what we're doing, and once we get this first free game off the table or into the market, and we see millions of players, we're going to see a completely different thing around SuperOne. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, and to have that as a big Christmas present for everyone, including myself. So I would like to thank the team that's here. We have also great accomplishments over the past months from Amanda, from Shelly, from all of their team. I don't know the name of all of them, and we have there's not the one and only Stian anymore. There's the two and the Bali brothers, Stian's in Bali, doing a great job of keeping the network informed. And we're going to see some great things happening in the next few weeks also, because we are now launching pre-listing investor scheme. That's also a close thing we're doing before we enter the listing process. So there's a lot of good change happening, and I would like to wish you all a beautiful weekend. Take care. Any questions, just reach out to us. The support team is there. Remember to include your link if there's a technical question. We have a lot of people on support, and we have even added more. So we hope we serve you, and we are looking forward now to really get into the market and monetize, because that's what we want. We all want to go there. So let's go there together and be strong. And remember one thing, big things, small beginnings. We are not small anymore. We are growing every day, and we're going to be huge. It's going to be a really cool year ahead of us. And I think that by mid-2023, we will have a great portfolio, and we will have tens of millions of players. So thank you, and take care. Bye-bye.